Welcome to this special episode of Vulcan Video Views, where we discuss our top 10 favorite films of 2015.
Yeah?
It's
a good year.
Meh. My fifth favorite film of the year is Steve Jobs.
What's happening?
The comeback of a superstar.
Co-founder Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs is returning to Apple.
It's just, in terms of screenplay construction, it's perfect because you see him interact with each of these people at different stages in his life. And so it builds into a very interesting story without ever actually having a plot.
Yeah.
We're seeing his endless talking while they're walking, and it's such rapid fire dialogue. Everyone has a really intelligent response. I have an even more intelligent retort. Well, I have an even wittier banter, and it goes like that. But that's Aaron Sorkin. That's what he does. He writes really fast. Everything's quick, and everyone's snappy and smart. But if you accept that, it's just a really clever, well done movie. It surprised me. It's a really great biography. It's interesting. It's exciting. Danny Boyle does a great job directing it, throwing it together. Michael Fassbender does a great role. Everything about the movie is fantastic. It's surprisingly really well done.
So my fifth favorite film of the year, Star Wars, the new Star Wars movie. Yeah. The old Star Wars movies are put on this pedestal that, you know...
That they're perfect, but
they're not perfect movies.
Yeah.
And this movie, all of its imperfections, I can point out the same imperfections in the first Star Wars movie, and that's the reason I gave it the number 5 spot on here, is because it was exactly what it needed to be. It had the things that I wanted to have in it. It was not a bad movie.
The reason it's not on my list is because of what you said earlier, was that the old movies weren't great either, so this fits right in. And that's the problem, is that the last act is a scene-for-scene remake of all the stuff that wasn't good in the first one. If you're going to rip off the first one, rip off the good parts.
It had the action, but it had like a lot of funny moments, was kind of nice. Yeah. It was a really fun movie, and so even though at the end things got a little cheesy and in some parts just downright stupid, that didn't matter to me because, I mean, that's Star Wars.
Alright, my number 4 favorite movie of the year was Mad Max.
I actually like this movie too.
Mad Max tells a story of people chasing each other to an area, and then they decide to go back to the same area and chase themselves back again. An insanely fun movie. Like, it's exciting, it's fun, it's visually enjoyable to watch from beginning to end. And it was real stunts, real makeup. Real danger, real money. Like, this was an expensive, time-consuming, dangerous thing to make.
I like how they now use that as like an advertising tool. They're like, we actually built things to make this movie. Go see this one. And then it's like, people do, because they're like, yeah, okay, just to give the finger to all the Marvel movies, I'm going to go see the one where people actually wear costumes.
Well, exactly. Like, it's weird that we're in a place now where to say that they filmed a chase in the real desert with real cars is a selling point. Like, that's a big thing now.
So my 4th favorite movie of the year, The Revenant. No, there's not a lot to complain about it. I did have a lot of parts that kind of bugged me, just because I felt like they were purposely just, let's try getting an Oscar. And so, but
too artsy.
It's fine. It's fine. It was shot wonderfully. The acting was awesome, which I don't usually like Leonardo DiCaprio. He barely talks this whole movie, which I think was the best thing for him.
If you want to see Leo DiCaprio grunting and groaning while crawling through snow, you're in luck.
I ain't afraid to die anymore. I've done it already.
Yeah.
It is one of the most beautiful looking movies I've ever seen.
It looks
Just flat out
fantastic.
that I've ever seen. Everything is just so thought out and planned well, and like it's not the. Man, how can I talk about this movie?
Here's how we describe it. Revenant is one of the best films of the year. It is not one of the best films of all time.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah. So for my number 3 pick, it's the movie no one ever saw ever. Even when I gave you the Blu-ray, it said watch it,
no one
and you
knows.
had it for 6 months and you never watched it.
What's that?
Predestination.
It can be overwhelming knowing the future.
And it turned out to be just the best hidden gem of many years, not just this year. It's a great film. And because like I'll forgive a movie a lot of things if it constantly surprises me.
Yep.
You know, like I'll forgive a lot of flaws if I can't tell you how the ending is going to happen half an hour, an hour and a half in. And with this one, I was constantly wondering, what the hell is happening? So if you see Predestination, and please go find it. Like it's hard to find, but it's worth it.
I know where I come from, but where do all you zombies come from?
If you want to be surprised by a low-budget Australian science fiction film that no one ever saw or talked about, go find Predestination. It's awesome.
My number 3, Ex Machina.
Hello.
Hi. Do you have a name?
Ava.
Like, it's a well-polished, low-budget
Oh
film.
yeah. Oh yeah.
The effects in it look great. Like, so there's computer-generated effects, right, in it, but they don't have that look. Like, they're not overpowering at all. So you're not staring at her most of the time.
Oh my god, wait, are you saying CGI can be subtle for the benefit of the film? No.
No, you know what? I
That's
retract that. CGI, it's all or nothing.
I want an army of robots,
Yeah.
damn it. I don't want to see one great looking robot. I want to see an army.
Caleb, you have to help me.
Real test.
You.
Is it strange to have made something that hates you?
Throw some twists at you that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's a well done movie. I mean, they didn't need to be really flashy about it. I think there's probably like 5 sets in the whole movie. There's like 5 different rooms that you see.
It's
But-
cheaper piece.
Yeah, that's all you needed. It was a good character story. It looks beautiful, sounds great, fun to watch, and
Yeah.
it's on Netflix, so it's easy to watch.
Oh, perfect. My second favorite flick of the year is Anomalisa, which sounds just as pretentious as it actually is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an art film, so be warned.
Remember, there is someone out there for everyone.
It's about a middle-aged guy who goes to a hotel. He calls up his wife and kids and lies like Pinocchio to get through and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to sit, and then he immediately calls up an ex-girlfriend. He wants to go to a bar and try and hit on some ladies, get a one-night stand, no strings attached, and every single character is voiced by the same actor. Whether they're man, woman, child, old, it's all voiced by Tom Noonan, and they all look the same. They all have the same face. You'd think that would make it a sort of a stilted or wooden performance, but it's hilarious. He eventually hears and sees a new person and looks like a different person, and he just thinks, oh wow, this changes everything. And it sounds like the most boring story.
It doesn't sound great.
Nope, but visually speaking, it's just so amazing. Like, you can just see filmmakers just like they pluck your emotions like strings. They play with it. Like a marionette. He's not getting them.
I think you're extraordinary.
Why?
I don't know yet. It's just obvious to me that you are.
This is the latest film from Charlie Kaufman. He's one of the few filmmakers out there that has a singular voice. You see a Charlie Kaufman movie and you know exactly, yep, that's Charlie Kaufman.
Weird.
Yep. If you're in the mood for something a little slow and adventurous, but really, really creative, and kind of depressing and weird and bizarre, but funny. Anomalisa was a brilliant little movie.
For my second favorite movie of the year, Inside Out. This movie it touched all the right parts.
The kids' film touched all your right parts. Tell me more.
Ha!
You just have to get back to headquarters.
That's long-term memory. You could get lost in there.
Think positive.
Okay. I'm positive you will get lost in there.
It takes place inside the mind of a little girl, and it's all of her emotions are little characters, and they interact with each other. Yeah. Enough on the surface stuff that it's a great kids movie. There's enough under the surface stuff that it's a great movie to watch with kids. Sad, and it's hilarious, and it's sweet, and it's just a really good movie.
Is it fair to say it turned your emotions inside out?
It certainly did.
Brain freeze!
Hang on!
The whole time I was watching this movie, because, when you go into a movie with not really any expectation of, you're just kind of sitting there, and then as the moments happen, you're kind of like sitting up, and you're like, man, this is really awesome.
This is getting better.
Oh man, I can't believe they did that.
And the one manly tear comes down.
And then you get the one manly tear, and you're like, I don't even care. It's fine. It's just beautiful. Like it had all those moments, and just I don't know. I loved everything about this movie.
My number one movie of 2015, Spotlight.
We've got two stories here. A story about degenerate clergy, and a story about a bunch of lawyers turning child abuse into a cottage industry. Which story do you want us to write? Because we're writing one of them.
Spotlight is about
Tell me why you like it.
Okay, you know what? It's a great movie, and it will win Best Picture at the Oscars.
All right, so this is The Revenant's main competition,
Yep.
you're saying?
I think it'll beat it. It covers a very topical, important, depressing thing, but it doesn't do it in a bummer way. Like the movie doesn't have a ton of interviews where the victims sit there and talk about the horrible things that happened, and it's not an anti-Catholic movie. It's not like judgmental against the church. All of the reporters are either lapsed Catholics or practicing Catholics.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable with it too, but they're just like, you know what, this is a story that
Bad people doing bad things are bad people doing bad things.
Yeah,
no matter what.
It's like an apple ruining the bunch, but how many bad apples are there? We should probably find out.
Yeah.
The movie focuses just on the reporters. There's no melodramatic subplots. You don't see them at home going home and their wife is in bed going, you're always out doing reporting. Why don't you stay here with your kids? I need to tell the truth, honey. And then you have those big dramatic scenes where they're yelling and throwing plates. None of that crap. It's just great, solid meat and potatoes filmmaking.
They control everything.
This is not just Boston. It's a whole country. It's a whole world.
They knew, and they let it happen. It could have been you. It could have been me. It could have been any of us.
Because this is old-fashioned, great filming. This is the kind of movie that you would see in the 70s with Al Pacino back before he was sad and old and crap.
It's terrible. What's
Yeah,
happening to those
no,
guys?
and there's no one showing off. Director not showing off. The director, his last movie was the Adam Sandler film with fake shoes, The Cobbler. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Now he's up for an Oscar.
Now he's up for an Oscar. Like
that is a true Riggs to riches.
He pulled a Rocky
that
there.
movie would win an Oscar about him.
And what is your favorite film of the year, Brian James Olmos?
My favorite film of the year was almost a tie between Inside Out and this one, but I gave it to this one, The Martian.
I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this. He's 50 million miles away from home. He's totally alone. What the hell is he thinking right now?
I am the greatest botanist on this planet.
This movie for me was just it's everything that I wanted in a movie. It was a great story. It could have been overdone, and then it wasn't, which I appreciated. It was, it took place on another planet, and they didn't have little aliens coming out of the ground. It was just a simple story with an extraordinary kind of location. Yeah.
I never stop fighting to make it home.
The performances didn't blow me away by any means. everybody did what they needed to do, and that's exactly what I liked about it.
I was glad to see Matt Damon nominated.
Yeah, like he
earned it.
Yeah, he was good in it, and nobody was bad at it.
Yeah.
I think that was the most important thing. Is so I didn't know anything going in, and I'm glad I did because I think I enjoyed it more for that. So
it's uplifting when it needs to be, it's tense when it needs to be, and it's very surprisingly funny when it needs to be. It's a warm,
it had all
warm
the
human
elements.
movie, and it's funny and it's enjoyable. Everyone will like it.
Yeah, you're everybody's on the same side. You're rooting for the same guy. You want him, and it's fun watching him. You know, like I gotta get this done, and then this done, and then this done, and you watch him try to do it all without.
Yeah.
And he's on another planet.
Yeah,
what more do you want, people? God.
Can't think of anything.
Oh, we've been talking about movies for too many hours.
Jesus Christ.
We finally hit our limit.
Just gonna sit here and rub my belly while you talk. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
You didn't want to say anything?